Two men killed after a JP building second collapse, and the missing rugby players' families hopeful they will find their loved ones. I'm Lebo Changela with this news update. Two men have been killed after a second collapse at a condemned building on the corner of JP and N Street in Johannesburg. Earlier this month, a man was injured when a section of the building collapsed. In February, a fire ripped through the building and people stole the steel support beams from the structure, which may have caused that collapse. Emergency Services Ned Keenan One's Jeffrey Wicks.
The first and second levels of the building had caved in, crushing two men who had been inside the structure at the time. Their bodies were buried beneath the rubble and both were killed instantly. Their bodies were freed by EMS personnel using heavy rescue equipment.
The families of the missing four rugby players that got caught in a rip current at Blue Water Bay in Port Elizabeth on Sunday say they are hopeful that their loved ones will be found soon. This after the body of the fifth player was found floating between the eastern side of Ngura, Port Breakwall and Jahil Island earlier today. The uncle of one of the missing four players, Nziwabantu Aramba, visited the Swartskov police station after learning about the discovery.
For us as a family, it actually gives hope that actually we can close the matter, because without that, we don't know what to do. We keep on wondering what to do next, and we keep on being advised to do this and this and that, and we actually getting harassed by such things because we need to do something. So for us to actually hear that somebody has been found, it gives us hope that we're soon to hear that even our loved one will be found.
The Democratic Alliance has vowed to argue vigorously in the Constitutional Court for the confirmation of the Supreme Court of Appeals ruling that President Jacob Zuma's appointment of prosecution's boss Maisie Simlani was irrational and invalid. The party's justice spokesperson, James Self, has been reacting to Justice Minister Jeff Khatebe's filing of his opposition earlier today to the confirmation of the SCA's judgment. Khatebe argues in his submissions that the SCA's ruling resulted in an unwarranted intrusion into the legitimate constitutional space that the president is afforded. Self says Khatebe's submissions appear to be based on arguments that the Supreme Court has already rejected.
What I think the justices of the Constitutional Court will have to do is will have to say that 5 eminent judges of the Supreme Court of Appeal, who were unanimous and emphatic in their judgment in this particular case, were in fact wrong. And obviously we will be arguing the opposite with all the arguments at our disposal.
And the former Surgeon General of the Defence Force, General Neil Noble, says he's not prepared to answer questions pertaining to military or state security. He's in Pretoria, where he's appearing before the Health Professions Council of South Africa, which is conducting an inquiry into chemical and biological warfare expert Dr. Avoto Bason's conduct. The defence has called Noble to testify as expert witness. This after Bason concluded his testimony under cross-examination. The SABC's Sandra Delanga reports.
Prosecutor Sali Joubert told the inquiry he seeks legal advice from the military's legal services on the matter. Joubert asked the disciplinary committee for a postponement, saying he will now have to do in-depth investigations and consultations on Knobel's evidence. Joubert says Knobel has, through the statement, disqualified himself as a witness. Sandra Delanga, SABC News, Pretoria.